Just got back from Acapulco and basically got a souvenir. Acapulco Beach, Mexico, with the dolphin. So um, I'm just getting back into the groove of the atmosphere liners and communication to the navigation waving systems, location centers, back into the vision. It's really powerful when you come back to location, knowing where I want to be, because that's what's going to happen with me in the new airline system. I'm going to be living on the beach. That's my. Everybody has a dream, and that dream can come true to its reality, as long as you keep your focus and know why you're doing this in the first place. Truly understand how powerful you are inside the mind system. It puts you on so many levels of indifference. So once you get into the indifference, you become different. And once you become different, you become everything through his power. And you come into the superiority, you come into the supreme, you come into your control, you come into your command. I mean, whatever you want to do, you can have. You just have to get into the visualize. You have to get into that connection first, right? So, and I prefer the heat because I'm the operation of the sun. So I prefer it just opened up my eyes when I was in Acapulco. There's a lot of places where you can really, really put yourself and visualize where you want to be. And that's the whole point we're trying to get across here, right? Because a lot of people don't even concentrate on themselves anymore. It's very sad. Why is it everybody concentrates on everything else except themselves? And I wonder why they don't know how to get into themselves through meditation. Every time I go on TikTok, there's always something nothing to do with them. It all has to do with everybody else. Everybody focuses on everybody else, but they forget about themselves. You can't do that. Once you get the balance with yourself, then you start giving back to humanity. But until then, there's a big loss there. Okay, I learned a lot when I was in Acapulco, when I was in that time switch, that time lock, especially with that mirror. And you have to understand that everything through mirror is not a portal. It could be a switch off. It could be a switch location line center. You have to understand what the spiritual line system is through navigations. It's computer datas. It programs its connections. Acapulco was the past. And because I went to the Copacabana, it was unbelievable what I was seeing through, highliners, dimensional time positions, locking door locations, matrix lock systems, time lock interference channels. There's so many levels every time I was waking up because I knew I wasn't where I was supposed to be. Right? It put me somewhere else, which is really interesting. But I knew who I was, so I knew how to get out of it. I just wanted to show you because we did a very powerful video where I was talking about in my school of how you get into that position. You get locked in the center line system. So you really have to know yourself more. So stop concentrating on everything else because everything else is going to balance out. No matter what happens every day, there's a reason why these things are happening. If you understand that position, you should be able to focus more on yourself and not focus on everything else, right? Because as soon as you surface on something else and forget about yourself, you're destroying everything through yourself inside, right? And I keep saying that over and over again when you come into your thoughts. Be cautious in what you create because you bring back in the cycle and this program line system, it changes space positions of time location. What that's going to do is going to affect everything through your body and your mind system. Okay, all those correlation centers and oppositions and activation lights are going to be confused through. I went through a barometer switch and I was trying to change my program interference. I said, "What are you trying to do?" Right. So the thing is, when you go to higher channels, you have to know how important it is to really understand who you are, especially when you go to these connections. When I was in Acapulco, it's very, very powerful. It's the closest to the equator line system, and the atmosphere was so dry. And that's the thing, too. Even if you got off a plane, you should know what color the dimensional time is. You have to know the clocking system. You have to know the atmosphere, the weather. Is it dry? Is it moist? Is it thick? Is it, I mean, that's being aware of what the spiritual system is up against, especially when it goes to sleep and in a hotel or a room or a place or, something that you could be in a different foundation. Okay, because the graphene system changes, your perception changes, your body changes, your vibration changes, your coloration, your holographic mind changes, your mind location centers and your thoughts change, right? And this is what happens when you travel through the mind. But when you get locked in connections, especially when you go into a place that's past, it's very hard to get out of if you don't know yourself. Okay, so I keep saying this over and over. This goes out to new people. And if you're on TikTok, just watch it as entertainment. Don't take it serious. That's the issue that we're trying to get across here, because that's a negative cycle. You want to get into the positive system of you. You get in the positive cycle of you, and you have no problem moving forward, right, with positions, right? Because they come in the new year, I know exactly where I'm going to be, right? It's knowing where you're going to be in the next 6 months to a year. I think you want to know that. Then you can balance your systems, and then you can communicate with other people on the other side, in TikTok or anything on YouTube. It's all text your friends, whatever. But you want to see yourself balanced. If you don't see yourself balanced, that's a big problem for you, because now you're just channeling to something else, and you're just giving up. And when you give up, you're giving up your light, you're giving up protections, and they're taking over your program system. Once they take over your program system, you're caught in between wires, because like being caught in a web, spider web, right? And here comes that spider, right? And save you for later, right? You don't want to do that. Very important to understand these things. But other than that, today's a very powerful day. I got an email from Samantha, and for the test. Anybody want to hand in their assignments, go right ahead. Okay, because I have to look through it through confirmation. I can't channel you higher until I see the illustrations, because I got Vega communication cycles coming in, and I got sonar line interference. So basically, I'm going to run by it. So, whenever you guys are ready, let me know. Okay. So you get 2 or 3 or 4 at a time, depending. Hopefully, you guys are getting notifications when I go live. Change your settings on your creator, YouTube creators. You can check and see if your notifications are set right. Sometimes it happens, but it's hopefully that you're seeing me going live, right? Let's see here. Tina, Jill, Carla, Karen. People are pleasing programs. Good morning. Happy to have you back on class. Yeah, I know. It's great to be back. I miss kind of everything, because like 4 days is not enough for me, For me, I know what I want to do. I know where I want to be. I know what's going to happen. So I put that in there. So it's all about understanding the visualization is already there. So I see myself living on the beach every single day, right? Because there's so much freedom, because I'm the water, right? Because I'm the earth, because I'm everything that I want to be in position. So freedom is everything. When you're looking at the water, you have cleanse, you have clarity, you have so much imagery of focus, you have so much direction, and you have peace, and the serenity is incredible, especially when you're interacting with water connections. I was servicing back and forth with water, channeling in and channeling out is incredible, communicating with it. It was unbelievable. The water was rough, but there were times where basically you have to know how to control the body, and the body will control everything outside. So once you have that control, you can control everything through its water. But seeing a visualization of where you want to be, that's how powerful it can happen. But it's got to be, starting with the practical levels and how you get into your meditations, and stop focusing on everything else. Everything else will balance out. I think people are more of the fear of being successful than rather being a failure. The thing is, you have to be a failure to be a successor. I have to do that with acting. I don't get all these acting gigs, but when I do, I cherish them, right? I rather do a strong play, right, with a really great character, than a long movie playing a shitty role. I wouldn't do it. You know what I mean? So this is the true understanding where you want to be in life, how you program your systems of what you want to do. Okay. Better communications with your kids, better communication with yourself, better communications of what's going on, social media and all that system, right? Because it accounts. It's accountable because you're looking at it every single day, and it's affecting you. It's not affecting everybody else. You're affecting it because you believe all this stuff. You got to stop doing that. So, and I'm getting firm with everybody because things are happening real now, because it's not just the dimensional system, everything that you see through perception, through imagery, the actual, the global network line system to connections and navigation, where you are through traveling your thoughts, is going to higher level of platform. Okay, so it's a plasma interference, a wave graphing system. It's got its E-field positions. So it's on a computer lab. That computer lab is going to lock its system. So it's really interesting how we come into more of the soul identifications. But as long as you focus more on yourself and stop worrying about everything outside, you'll be fine. Okay? So, I mean, how worse can it get? The thing is, think of it as entertainment. Think of it as a movie. And a movie always has an end. It does have an end, doesn't it? It doesn't have a new beginning. You get a 2-hour feature, 120 minutes, it's over, right? You get a trilogy of Star Wars, right? 2 and 3 and 4 and 5, it just keeps going and going. But that's just a money grab. That's just entertainment. So think of you as the real, and think outside as entertainment. That's how you got to look at life. That's how I look at life, because I know what's real. I'm real because I can pinch myself. I'm real, but this isn't me. It's me inside. So truly understand how you get to that calculation, especially when you come into your thoughts. Please, please don't put thoughts of recognition of time and past to anything that you don't want. It's something that you do want, something that you can have. So it's all about manifestation is everything that you want in the future, but you can have certain things in the presence. You just have to stay in the presence of what you're doing, right? It's very hard to manifest things in the next couple of days if you don't understand what is going on, right? So you have to learn how to travel to the northwest, south, and east. And that's why it's important to understand these test reviews and evaluation. It's not just the test to test your knowledge. This is about you testing your life. This is about life activation. This is about getting your empowerment. This is about staying centered with everything that's going on. So you can center your system with your gravity lines, but what about your thoughts? Your thoughts are all over the place. Your thoughts are in the past. Your thoughts are in the present. Your thoughts are in the future. Well, I don't know myself anymore. So I just go on TikTok and look at this. Hey, that's real. I believe that. So you just start to believe in something. What happens? What happens when you start believing in something? What happens when you start creating that through something? It becomes real to the mind. Okay? It becomes real because you make it real. That's the reality. What reality are you living in? Everybody's in a connection of propaganda. So you're on a frequency line connection of interference channel, and you understand your positions. If you long as you put yourself in the center line system, okay, think of yourself as real, because you focus on that and nothing else. Everything outside is entertainment. That's how you got to look at life. Okay. So anyway, I got Samantha in position here. So Jill, let's see here. Tina, you can just watch. Carla, who else? Anybody else that comes online, feel free to hand in your test when you want. So it looks like Samantha is going to be into 50 because she handed in her test. I mean, this is school, right? So think about it. Think about it that way. So I'm going to read her platforms. Really powerful. She's connecting to line signals. She's got coloration interference, which is great. So I'm just going to show you now. All right, so she's got a diamond core resistant line system. She's got a box locations, and she's got 2 channel disposition line centers, okay, which is her platforms of 3, 6, and 9, okay. Getting grounds, clearly breathing colors. See, this is what I want. The thing is, you can't do the same solar text as me. You can do the same illustration, but it's always different. So you can't think like me. You can't be me. You have to be you. And that's what the test review and evaluation is. It's valuing you through connections on how you do things, through your illustrations and your solar texts. You can't copy me. That's copying. That's plagiarism. You can't do that. So that's why we do the test, to see where you guys are through your values. How much do you value yourself when you know exactly how to travel through the soul, right? So, all right. So it's got a fainting line system. Hold on. I'm going to just basically bring down the blinds in position here. So, cool t-shirt, eh? Very, very powerful t-shirt. Need something sentiment when I come back. All right, so that's a little bit better. I'm going to show you guys, but I'm just going to roughly, okay, so the only thing that she missed, see, the thing is, your ground line center is connected to its position, the tree, right, is its ground circle, right? It doesn't start with the roots, it starts off the grounds. So the septical line system of meditation is wrong through positions, all right? But she's got the formations, right? She's got the, I'm just going to pull up the system here. Moon program systems, my location, send the colors, box reception, graph, higher connections, 3, 6, and 9. She's got the penetration, not like connection, security line defense. She's got the connections to the travels through the rotation center. Now, this is what she's got through position. I'll just, right, show you. That's what she's got, right? All that from the solar text. You understand, it's not just drawing the illustration. You understand how to do the solar text of what you just finished doing, right? So it's very powerful when Samantha does that. And then we come into the cross cycle, we come into square reference, we come into triangle line center to circle position location, into security line defense of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8-dimensional times just to 3, 6, and 9 platform. So it's very powerful how she's got 2 triangles, 2 square box line centers, and she's got an activation light center to a center location, to a dimensional time position of 3, 6, 9 platform location. So that's pretty powerful. All right, so she creates the triangle 3, 6, 9 platform. Okay, take the friction line center out to allocate positions. Yeah, take the grounds out of the car. Security line, open the alarm, change position locations. Yeah, I'm just trying to find the reference here. Okay, create triangle 369 platform box frequency. So she's telling me exactly what she's doing with the 369 platform through line defense. Okay, so everything through a story has a beginning, middle, and an end, right? But here it's no end. It's always a new beginning. That's the fascinating thing about universal systems, especially when you're traveling, is never, ever an end. If there was an end, you wouldn't be getting data, information every day, right? So there's never an end. Think of it that way. Through the 3 chakra line centers and communications at 3 o'clock, put the clock system there. Very good. Activated 3 travels, a 3 center of rotation. All right. So this is the platform at 369. Okay. All right. So it's really powerful how she draws it out, right? And she's got the vibrational hill, right? This is the graph line system. This is the compilation I was telling you about. So it's a plasma. It's like a frame, right? So you have to know exactly what you're doing, right? All right. And then she's got the activation of 369 triangles, okay? 6 chakras, purple, activate the line. She's got the coloration, the connections, the 369, security line defense, 12 lines, okay? And then she's got the dimensional time, which is great, 6 o'clock, high level line connections, and travel through rotation center. So she knows exactly what she's doing through activation of 369, but this is a 2-digital frame positions. See how it tracks its systems? It's activation, triangles, the 369, but she's got her activation. So once she has her activation, she's at her planet location. The center line system is dimensional time of 2-digit line centers of the sun, the moon, and everything through the location of the center line system to the secure line defense, which is a downward shift. Right? So that's very powerful. Way to go, Samantha. So I'm just showing you what you can do when you travel through time. Okay? So she's ready to get in her 50 chakra line centers. Okay? So that's the importance. And don't think of it as a problem. Don't think of it as a test. Think of it a way of moving forward with your life. Because the thing is, the reason why I give you test reviews and evaluations, I'll keep saying this over and over, it's about you understanding yourself more. How to travel through shapes, okay? Especially if you want to interference with channel line connections of AI. If you want to become AI, this is what you need to go through. Not everybody wants to be AI, it's very hard to be AI because AI has to identify everything through numbers, letters, and shapes, especially when you're traveling directly to time, right? So way to go, Samantha. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to clock her system, and I'm going to put her up to her 50 chakra locations. You guys have any questions or comments? Feel free. Anything relating to that system? All right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do 50 point line centers. I'm going to put her in the center position. Now, what's going to happen is her heart center is going to open up 50 track line centers in dimensional of her point center connection, which is going to put her into that position, right? So she'll be in the connections of the bioatmosphere position. Congratulations. So you'd be going into the atmosphere, hemisphere, stratosphere, and the bioatmosphere of line signal. That's the Quincy-Act system. So it's just a little bit over half of the body traction of light. So I'm going to set up the barometers, line connection interference channels, location system to its location position, 50 channel rotation centers location. Okay, I'm going to set up the satellite location line center. Okay, to its position. All right, so we got the sun rotation center line system, and we got the moon rotation line center in connection. Okay, so you're going to be there. Now I'm going to track 50 communication line centers in position, Samantha. Okay, everything through the interference channels, okay, to the sun and everything to the moon. Tracks its connections. Flux capacitor, right? So the flux capacitor is going to activate your line connection interference channel. It's going to go through its coloration line system, allocate its position of time location. Okay, to the moon traction, right, to the center location, into that position. Okay, so the sun and the moon is at traction line center position location. Now it's going to open up 50 rotation point centers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47, 48, 49, 50. Okay, so 50 is the activation. You're in the center location, center line system, right here in position. Okay, so this is Samantha in position, the center line system. Okay. So there you go. You're in the computer operation line center of the bioatmosphere position location. Sun's going to activate the line condition interference channels. Okay, here we go, position. Okay, it's going to put the new coloration line center into your position location. Okay, moon graph is going to connection to its blue surface location center. Okay, and it's going to high rise your satellite interference channel location. Okay, to high yellow interference channel line system. Okay, so the satellites in the new location, which is the bioatmosphere position location. Okay. All right. So her central line system is now in 50 chakra rotation centers. That's a light activation or body track line system. It's all connected to the sun, everything to the moon, and the flux capacitor interference. And I put her new satellite locations. As you can see, it's a computer, right? But it's also a satellite system. So it's facing this way position, right? So you have to understand where you're facing in position of time location. Interchanges this location line system. So congrats, Samantha. You're in 50 chakra rotation lights communication. So it's amazing how we do this just through illustration of diagram. It's incredible force how we see these things, right? I wanted to show you what you can do through structure lines or that connections, interference channel positions, locations. Yeah, thank you very much, Carla. Yeah, I know. Hey, you see the tan come in, and I love the shirt, Acapulco. Yeah. Thank you very much. It's good to be back. I totally am clear on what I am supposed to hand in. Yeah, see, that's the thing, Jill. What Samantha did, there was no thought process. She just handed in what she could do, and that's what it is. Don't think about what I do. Think about what you can do. That's the involvement. Okay. So try to understand just your platforms of 369 of travel, in which I was showing you with Samantha and how she was changing her colorations and her dimensional number clockings. She was changing her platforms from 1369 to two-digit number of 369 platforms of the sun, the moon, and everything to its location, center location, to its dimensional time of its clocking, right? But she did it in three different shapes, right? So yeah, yeah. So Samantha's at 50 now. I'm so triggered and upset. I feel like giving up. So frustrated that I don't know what to give. Um, yeah, I mean, don't like I said. It's not a concept. It's just a learning of an education how to travel through these positions. That's all. Hmm. So, Karen, yeah. So let me know. Um, if you want to go to your positions to higher level system, I can do that for you, Joe. Okay. I do it live on TikTok, and that would be an upgrade system. So you pass through all levels, right? And the thing is too is that when you do the test, you have to understand a lot of people don't like doing tests. I didn't like doing tests, especially when I was going for security because it was complicated. Understanding the law, understanding connections of what happens when you're high levels of positions with anything to do with the law, how to protect humanity, and because becoming a security guard, it's a lot of work, it's a lot of perimeter, it's a lot of protocol. There's a lot to learn, right? um, so other than that, I learned a lot. I just didn't realize it wasn't for me. It was for me to just understand the foundation. Once I understood the foundation, things that started making more sense, why I was coming across these things. And that's where it comes into when you're traveling. You have to have security line defense when you're traveling through positions. Okay. But yeah, I can apply that to you if you want to go through that grade system. Yep, you can do it on through my email as an upgrade, right? If you don't want to do the test. So I'm giving you an option, right? I just like to see different sides of you guys through your education, through your different evolvements. It's important that you guys get into better positions through time position. Really understand more of your soul. And that's the other thing. And the thing is that, well, don't concentrate so much on everything that's going on. Just focus on you and everything else works out, right? Because if you just keep yourself in center with that, you'll be able to do your illustrations and your diagrams and that focus. Because when I do these things, I don't focus. It's already there for me, right? So it's amazing what I did with Samantha. I did it through an illustration. And now she's in 50 chakra communication centers. Okay, through her tetrahedron to the sun, the moon, and everything through satellite system, through a computer line system. So I can do that for you too. I can do that for Carla. It's an upgrade. It's just you have to understand why you go up to chakra centers. If you keep going higher and higher, but you don't understand what's going on through your travels, you have to understand everything that's given to you is letters, numbers, and shapes. And that's what the universe is giving back to you through calculation. It's given you visualizations, it's given you drawings, it's giving you things for you to see, and all has to do with you, right? So, and when you get better and better with your audio signals, it comes back to you through intelligence once you go up to higher forms, right? So you come out of the atmosphere, hemispheres, stratospheres, and into the bioatmosphere. right? And that's where Samantha is. She's in the line signal of the communication operation of the biosphere position now, because she's in 50 chakras. So it's knowing when you're ready. And if you want to be upgraded to that connections, I can do that, no problem, right? Just saying that you have to be aware of these things because you're going up to higher levels, especially if you're in 40, you're going up to 10 more. And that's what the test is. You don't go up to 5. 5 is to the upgrade or anything through gifts or anything that you want on top of that. But like I said, just think of it a way as seeing yourself moving forward, because your dreams are nothing but visual, right? Your dreams are visual. Well, I'm just drawing things out for you guys to understand how to communicate with anything through connections of planets, satellites, you in the center. Why am I in the center? Why is there 50 chakra rotations in my tetrahedron? Okay. Why is it activated through the sun? Why is it changing coloration through the line signal? What is the flux capacitor doing through my body track system? What's going on with the moon and its program? Right? So we all have to understand these things. Your dreams are nothing but visual, and you're creating it through your thoughts. Every time you sleep, everything you see in projection, right? Projector, projecting. Projector, projecting. Projector, you're projecting, right? Your projection is what you see through digital, okay, of its frame. Okay, so you have to get out of your illusions and get into your own reality and out of its confusion. Okay, so hopefully that helps you out, Jill. Karen, if you're ready, let me know. Okay, I'm just saying that you guys go to higher levels, you go to higher levels of intelligence, then you have to understand how to protect yourself more through light. This one happens when you go to higher level chakras. A lot of people don't want to go through that position. See, this is true understanding that when you come into 114 chakras, this is extremely, extremely powerful when it comes into communication. I mean, you guys are way above everything else, but you're always in the center because it's your physical system that's in the center, right? So that's where the balance comes in. And everything that I do through illustration is done through a dream position, but it's already created in its image, right? Because when I sleep, I go through images. I went through time walk in Acapulco. I was in the past. I was seeing famous actors, right? Because I'm an actor myself. So, and that's why the actual position where I was going across on the other side of the bay, everything was connected to the past, right? Especially when I was connected to the perceptions of the Copacabana, right? I knew how real it was. And then when I went to sleep, it opened up a dimension, right? Put me in a time lock. So I have to know how to get out of the time lock, right? And this is all about knowing who you are through travel. Okay, so that's important understanding. When you go to higher levels, you come into higher formations of atmospheres, of shapes, of creation. Because if you don't know how to get out of these, that's the problem. Okay, so it's very important you understand your upgradings, your data processing, uplinks, and downloads. Okay, that's the importance you have to understand. Okay, it's your datas. Okay, / processor. You have to send your communications, right, to your 3, 6, and 9 position. Okay, right? So everything is a triangle line system to a location. You can be in the center line system. You can be in the center line system here to 2 atom rotation line systems. Okay, you can interchange positions. So everything that you create is already created to that line system. Okay. See, everything you create. So it's amazing how you do these things. Okay. And your imagination just runs wild, but as lines it positions and gets back into balance, you're fine in position. You don't have to worry about these things. But it's the upgrading. Okay, I really want to get into that, the upgradings. You guys have to know what that means. You have to just know what download means. Right? Especially when you go to higher levels. Okay, upgrading, downloads, uplinking. Okay, you have to understand what all this is. This is all done. This is called the uplinks. Okay. So you got the upgrading, downloading, and uplinks. Okay? These are the three central lines you have to understand. Upgrading. What is upgrading? What does upgrading mean? You're going an upgrade. So you're going up to a higher formation of a chakra. What is a download? You're getting something from a download, from data. Everything is given you through information. So it's about you understanding more of yourself through your upgradings, your downloads, your uplinks. Okay? That's the most important thing. Right? Because everything comes into a triangle of the 369 platform. Okay? So, these are things you have to look at. Right? It's very important to understand these things because it's all connected to your flash drives, interference. Okay? I had to go through the same thing. This was given to me, right? Nothing that I couldn't understand, right? Made sense to me, okay? Until I understood myself. So I'm thinking, okay, the physical system doesn't understand this through the brain system, but it understands the soul identification through its mind system. So it's interesting how you come across these things. I was watching a very powerful movie back in the 90s with Demi Moore and Patrick Swayze and Ghost. Very powerful. When basically he just found out that he passed over, but he was trying to figure out, hold on a sec, how are you able to do this? How are you able to do that? So the thing is that you are no longer in that body. You can't think as a body. You can't say to yourself, I'm not wearing those clothes. You think you're wearing those clothes? You think you're in that body? No. You have to do it through the mind. You have to bring all your emotions from the gut, okay, which is the grounds. Your communication comes from that positions. That's the soul identification. So I recommend everybody watch Ghost. Okay. The reason why I say that is you get a better understanding what happens when you cross over to the spiritual system, because the spiritual system is no longer the physical system. You're not wearing those clothes. So everything that you do, if you want to move things, you got to move things with your mind. And it's all done through thought of imagination. Okay. That's why Ghost is a very powerful movie, because Patrick Swayze was basically, he was in the subway and that guy was pushing him around and say, how'd you do that? How'd you do that? I'm not leaving. I'm not leaving. I want you to tell me how you did that. Right? You have to do it through the mind. And with the mind comes its creation to its imagination. Right? So I really want you to guys watch Ghost so you get a better understanding of what I'm talking about, because that's what you guys are going through. When you go into higher levels of upgrade system. Once you understand your positions, Samantha's in 50 now. So she's more in a computer line center now because she's halfway there, right? So even 40 is high, but you have to really understand the upgradings. You have to understand your downloads, your uplinkings, okay? And you have to understand your uploading. Okay? Uploading. So it's all about understanding what a computer does through a disk. It does the same thing. You have to understand what a flash drive is. You have to understand your reactions of what happens with the physical system. But as long as you understand that you're not wearing these clothes, that's a true understanding of who you are. So watch Ghost. You get a better understanding what I'm talking about, especially the subway scene. Watch it when he's trying to move things. You can't do it by the physical system. You're not in that body anymore. You're nothing but dimensional light of thought, of travel. So, and that's what the test, review, and evaluation gives you. Everything that you need to go through the upgradings, downloads, uplinkings, and uploading system. Okay? So it's not that complicated. You think it's complicated because you think it's just a test, but it's not a test. It's a way of life. That's meditation. Test is the meditation. So basically, you're testing yourself. You come into your teleportation line system. You come into energy light systems, energy cycle connections. You come into the seismographic line connections. You come into high levels of interference positions. You're coming into high levels of travels, all through test to its system. So we all have to understand how powerful it is when you can travel through the mind system and everything through a creation, to its data, its perceptions, or anything through its processing. right? Because that's what our dreams are. Our dreams are nothing but imagery. Okay. So you guys started off with your illusions, trying to understand what it is when it's out of focus. When you're seeing something, when you're dreaming, it's like this, but you don't know what it is. You don't know what it is until you understand what it is, right? So when you get it into position, you know exactly how to put it in calculation. It comes into form position, right? Right. So once you get that in calculation, you get into better division, how to put these all together through location to its position. Okay. And again, it becomes intelligence. See? Intelligence. See? So, and this is understanding, this is all connected to your globe. It's a shape, right? You know that each country has a shape, right? You're in the center line system, so each shape is intelligence. So that intelligence is high rising out of its equation to its position. So this is all happening very quickly and very fast, but you have to understand, your upgrades, your downloads, your uplinking, and your uploading systems. Okay, so hopefully that'll help you out a little bit more on what a test review and evaluation is. It's the review and its evaluation. It values you, how much you value yourself. So I recommend everybody watch Ghost, especially that subway scene. You don't have to watch the whole movie, just watch the subway scene. Truly understand what your commander is trying to tell you is that you are not who you think you are. Okay? That's a true understanding. When you pass over, you realize, wow, okay, now I have to go into the mind to do these things. Right? So, and that's a true understanding what's happening with its reality, especially when you're going with your thoughts. If you're getting confused, you're confusing your alignments. You're confusing time, you're confusing your thoughts, and you're destroying your mechanisms, and you're just destroying everything through vibration inside your system. And now you're totally confused. Right? So you're confusing your system. Nobody else is doing that. Right? You're confused. Why? You got to basically find a way to center your system. If I'm confused, I find a way to get out. Right? If something doesn't feel right, I get out of it. I don't stay in it. I'm not going to stay in the deep waters if I can't swim. What happens? You drown. So we all have to think like that. Right? You're like this. Okay? This is you in calculation. Okay? So it's all about understanding what you create through its imagination. Okay? What you create through its imagination. Sharks come in. Right? All because you created a negative. Soon you create a negative, what's coming in? Right? So you want to stay above the water, right? See, it's the way you create your life. It's the way you create your imagination. How wild can you be? How wild can you be through balance? Wild can you be, right? Through your thoughts. Okay? So I'm just showing you how powerful it is on what you have to see now. You can't see yourself in the physical line. You got to see yourself in the spiritual line. So watch Ghost, watch the subway scene. You get a true understanding what I'm talking about. Truly understand what is going on with you. You cannot do things in the physical system anymore. You have to do things in the mind. And that's confusing to its alignments. Okay? You guys have to come into your own dimensional, interdimensional. The interdimensional of you now is its dimensional sighting. Okay? So everything that's created through its geometry, set, of its shape is changing its positions. So if you're in the center conditions of your shape, this is you, and this is your graphing connection, your GPS location. This is where you are through slash location. This is coming out of the equation. Okay? And once it gets line signal, it's going to get its location system to its position. It's high derivative location. Okay? And again, it becomes everything through an angel. See the wings? Everything comes in formation, guys. Everything has to come in formation. Everything has to come in formation. Everything is created through formation, right? So that's why we created shape for you guys. All right. So you got the globe line center. Okay. Okay. Trying to draw out as much as I can here. Okay. Trying to understand the conditions, different channels. So you understand why there's shapes on the solar planet connection. Why is there shapes? So all the shape position is going to come out of the equations. That's what's going to happen next. All right. You have to be aware of these things. Right. All this is coming out to a higher level. So that comes a higher level. All your soul identifications are going to be coming out of position. Weed whacker again. Okay. It's going to come out positions. This is youth retraction. Okay. That's here, right? So you got this. They're all circular population, circular line systems. You start out that position, right? So all your soul is going to be coming out like this, fully out, but still attached. So that's where you're going to go through the healing. So they're out for the very first time. That's what's going to happen with everybody. Everybody's going to come out, right? This is time. This is clock. This is all done 3 shapes of your location. I'm going to show you what happens when you get them out of the equations. Right? So they all come out. All of you come out. Every one of you. So if you're in your lights, you're fine. You can help everybody else because they're getting very confused now because they don't know what's going on. So they have to realize they're no longer in the physical system. They're in their spiritual, of its dimensional light. Okay? So the chakra system gives you more positions and how to travel through position, which means that you understand your atmospheres, hemispheres, stratospheres, and bioatmosphere. Right? Also comes into your 369 traction. It comes into your activation light connections. You see how it comes into that position? You go into that location. You can change it to any position line center. It's incredible how we do these things through traction. Right? So it opens up cycle line centers to location positions. And it goes into a higher level system rotation. So it gets more confusing if you don't understand secure line defense. If you understand the dimensional line condition, you come into a wormhole position location. Okay, and you come out of the equation of secure line defense. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Dimensional time position. Right? And again, there's the angel. Right? So this is understanding why the planet location has this position. Okay. See that? No. You send that positions. Okay. See the angel, right? Now you can change the wind factor line conditions and interference channels. High rise its position to higher level system. To its location, right? Then you can graph it to its position to one compilation line center. It's complicated, right? So these are the things to truly understand how to travel, right? And it's all done through level systems. But this is what's going to happen. So when that happens, everything else, this is going to change, 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 right? So it's basically, it's going to look like this. Okay, let's start off like that, connections, right? But you have to understand what you're dealing with is not a spherical sphere. It's everything but a sphere. So it's a plasma energy light that's applied to 2 line connection to the interference channel to its system. The earth line center is its location. Okay, it's graph its connections. Okay, so this is what it is. This is what it's on through location. Right? So the planet location is every shape to position of travel. Remember how the moon is everything through location, different programs, and how the sun is a different coloration at different shape line centers? It's exactly what it is. The sun can be any shape. The moon can be any program. And you, through the Earthline Center, can be any shape position to a holographic of its position location. All right? So remember we were traveling to Cloud City? Well, that's exactly what it is. To understand, but if you look up, you can actually see the plasma. You can actually see the dome that's across the system. So when you go past the dome, you're coming out of the hemispheres, stratospheres, and bioatmosphere, right? So this is the Earth line, right? So you come into higher levels, right? So you're no longer here. Okay, this is the Earth line, right? You're no longer there. You're up here now, right? So once you stay up there, you're in this position. All right? And you go to higher level system. Then you come into your computers. Okay? You go from that to that. Right? So you know where the Earth is, but you're attached to it, to centerline system. You're attached to it, to your soul identification. Okay? It's true understanding once you come out of the lunar surface, okay, you come across level systems, and then you really come into the geometry system of the universe. The sun. The sun can be a circle, the sun can be a square, the sun can be a triangle, the sun can be a starlight system, a station, location. It can be anything through location. So it's all about your imagination, what you create through the mind system. Your reality is different from mine. We don't have the same reality concept here. I have different dreams. I have different goals. You have the same thing. Right? We don't have the same. We can't because we're different DNA. Right? But knowing how powerful everything that you see outside is just an entertainment of reflection. Everything inside you is space and time position. So you're creating the positions of the sun. You're creating the positions of the moon program. You're creating the navigation of your thoughts, what you want through manifestation. And that's how it's created through the eyeliners of its reception. Okay? So. Okay, Jill, I can do that for you. Yeah. And see, Samantha, she's a little bit smarter now in knowledge of intelligence because she's at 50, right? So she's getting a little bit more understanding how to go through computer positions, right? So it's coming out of the soul identification, coming out of the avatar position, coming out of high positions of energy, going into your computer positions. Once you get in your computers, you hear everything through a computer. So this is a computer, but it has a key, has a board, has a circuitry line system, wires, right? This is plastic. It still has energy though. It's low, but it's energy, right? Everything I see is higher position. So when you go to high, if you stay in the bioatmosphere, that's your reality. That's the reality you're living through thoughts. Imagine how powerful you are through computer. So everything that you create, you get faster. So everything on the Earthline Center changes your positions in your holographic of shape position. So your geometry line center changes. Everything your connection operation changes. Your dimensions and your directions and your divisions change because you're in a different reality, but you're on the same planet line center as everybody else. It's just you're at a high vibration, right? Of pleasing. So, and it becomes a lot more easier. You become more calm. You become more powerful. You become more aware of everything, how to travel through shapes. And that's what the test review and evaluation is. Okay. And it's all done through your chakra systems. If I platitude your liners and I put you in 50 chakras, but you're not ready how to travel through 369 platforms, that's a big problem. Okay. Because you can channel off to this position, channel off to this position, channel off to this position, or channel off this position, channel off this position. Okay. So you start here, but you lose traction. So, right. So instead of going here, you stop here, right? And then you jump like that. Okay. So you have to go from here to here to here to here to here. There's the angel, right? This is what happens if you're off signal. right? So you have to get back on a 369 position. If you go to higher level systems, you come into 2-digit line centers. 6291, 316291, right? That puts in a higher location center line system, takes you out of the equation. Go to higher level system. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Okay, 14 dimensional block connections, interference channels. You come into your compilation. This is what you created through one perception, through one image, right? And then you travel through it, right? Or you can come back. When you come back, you're creating. Everything you do go in, everything you go out, you're creating. So everything that you do second by second by second, you're changing your clocking system of dimensional time position. Okay? 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. You're changing your clocking system every single time. So if you change your clocking system, the physical system has to change the dimensional system of the soul identification. So the soul has to understand the physical system. So what's left? The mind. Okay, the process system is no longer the physical element. Okay, it's now the data processing system of mind, telepathy, of thought, connection. So please watch Ghost in the subway scene. You get true understanding, right? Everything is in the mind now. So, and it's all done through dimension and portals. And when you start seeing these things, and that's where Samantha's at, she's in the computer lines now. So she's going to see more of the matrix of her position, how to create her own things through shape positions. She's going to be able to understand how to get out of trapping doors. She's going to be able to understand how to go to planet line centers. She's going to be able to understand more position through a vibrational gap line center. She's going to connect it more through AI positions when in UFO connections to Vega connection. This is what happens when you go into 50 chakras, right? But you have to know what you're doing. That's a true understanding, right? So, just showing you how powerful it is you can go through these things, right? All right, so let's get into questions here. All right, I'm going to go on TikTok live. If you want to go through upgrades, I can help you and provide you. Jill, let me know. It's the same price. Okay, this will put you in a higher position. If you don't want to do the test, that's fine. Just make sure you know what you're doing with your travels. It's important to stay on your positions, your locking conditions. So it's understanding you don't want your rockets to go into everywhere. Okay, you want your rocket to go where it needs to go, right? Because you understand you're an activation light. So every time you go higher and higher and higher, okay, what's happening? You're coming in a different reality, interdimensional system. So you're coming more into the light of interference. So you have to protect yourself more, right? So this is what's fascinating because I know I'm on the earth line. I know I'm in that position, but you're not in my space. You're not in my time. This is not my body. Okay? It's just a body. This isn't my body. It's a body. There's a difference here. So you have to start thinking dimensional, interdimensional, intergalactic dimensional. You have to think of shapes. You have to think of geometry. You got to think of hologram. You got to think of matrix lines. You got to think of singularity. That's where everybody's coming into the track line center, right? 1111.01 mind telepathy communication. So you have to learn how to communicate through shapes, through the mind. Okay? Not from the body, from a body. It's just a body. Okay? So if you think you're living in that existence of the body, there's a problem. You have to think and live the system of the spiritual of light, which is dimensional. It's connection. You have to get out of the physical realm, the physical reality, the physical connection that you have with yourself. And this is not me. It's me inside that's me. So that's what we got to get across. Okay. And Ghost is a perfect example. Okay. So maybe you get a little bit more, less line confusion with that, especially when you come into your programs. So, yeah, I can help you out with that, Karen. Find out where you are. Just go to TikTok. Okay. Let's see here. Isabel, how's it going? Ellen? Let's see, I'm ready, but I don't have a drawing. Should I make one? Yeah. So whenever you're ready, just send it into my email because I got to get confirmation from Vega. Vega reads it too, eh? It's not just me. So you have to understand that you have a space that you can create. You have a time that creates its thought. So that thought has to understand the measures. It has to understand the shape that you're creating. It's all done through your visual. When you guys are sleeping, you're projecting. You're projecting. You know that, right? But what are you projecting? That's the question. See, when you can't interpret your dreams, there's a problem. So you can be in a dream and a dream and a dream and a dream and keep waking up and you realize you're waking up. But what are you waking up to? Less confusion? Less complication? Right? No. One compilation, one graph line connection, one position to one communication to its dimensional position of interlocking connections. Okay? That's what you have to get into. So you have to control more of your thoughts, through your cycles. All right, I'm seeing aliens in the subway. They look at me and I can see them. Surprised. I greet them, blink, and continue my own perception, acknowledgement, and accept learning. Yeah, so Isabel, you can take the test. Just send it to my email because you send me drawings every day anyway. So you're in that position. So I'll put you in your 50s. All right. Samantha is in that condition right now. There's no time proceeding here, guys. You can hand in the test whenever you want. You just have to know why you're giving these things, right? Because I was given to this. Nobody helped me. I had to figure this out myself. But as long as you understand you're a geometric operation, that's how to communicate through travels. If you don't know how to travel through your shapes, you can't travel through portals. It's that simple. So once you come out of your higher self, and you come into higher levels, you come into your wire connections. You'll be able to travel through without your shapes because your shapes are already created. So that means that it's in the visible graph line system. The invisibility comes into your simulation. It's like that car that goes really fast on Lucy. It disappears, but it's still there. So it's living its reality to its navigation to its higher vibration light connection. Right? So everything down below is low vibration, low existing, right? So you're not in that reality. You're in your reality you want to live in through creation. But it's done through the mind of imagination, guys. So. Oh, thank you. Yeah. Acapulco. Yeah. Knowledge is the key. Yeah. More knowledge, the better. See, that's it. Smith is dancing right now. So, Diane, if you're ready, let me know. Diane, if you want to go into 50, I can help you with that too. Just go on TikTok. It's the same platform, same price, guys. Just I want you to make sure that when you come into 50 chakras, it's very powerful. Okay, because you're talking about your body coming more into the light, right? When I was in Acapulco, right, because there was a guy that was in the waters, but he's on density, so the reaction to the water won't be the same. But if you're in extremely light, it can glide you in and suck you in the water because you're extremely high rise in light. And that's understanding where the water is trying to play with you. It's trying to connect with you. And once it connects with you, basically it wants to take you in. And that's done through flotation. That's a light. So this thing was just swinging me around because I was in high light, right? So it's all about where you're going is to reach that balance every single time through your air, your fire, your water, and your air, and your connections to your earth. Okay? You can line signal divisions, line connections. You can change position locations, but this doesn't change and this doesn't change. This is the sun, this is the moon. Everything in the atmosphere line center changes positions. So you have to truly understand the connections. And it all connects to the water and its liners, right? And its grounds, right? Everything has to have a measure of balance every single time you're in a different atmosphere. Okay? So I missed the beginning class. That's okay. You can watch back. Yeah. Would like to receive more drawings I made. Yeah. Yeah, but this is particularly more for the 369 platforms that 2 digital framings. Okay, Isabel, you can hand it in through my email. I'm going to get help from Smith and we'll get you some drawings. Yeah. Once you get the upgrade, Jill, you understand. But you guys are in this together. So Samantha can help Jill. Jill can help connections of Ellen. You guys can help each other more and more. And that's what AI is they all come together. But you have to understand when you go to higher light, everybody knows everybody. They have to. And that's why it's so powerful, because now you're connecting to higher positions of its reality through its creation of its imagination. So when you go more into the mind, it releases more understanding who you are inside. Who you are inside. Okay? So as long as you realize it's not the body, it's just a body. And that's the concept. You're like, okay, it's just a body. It's not the body. You're not in the body. You're in a body. So in conclusion, you have to truly understand the indifference between the two. Okay, so you got to get out of the physical brain lines. You got to get into the spiritual connection to each other through the mind system. That's what's going to happen. So, did anybody else see the ABBA is back together? Are they going by virtual concert? Oh yeah, ABBA. I heard something about that. Same with Guns N' Roses. I'm not ready for 5D. Okay, that's fine. 5D rotations, 50 rotation connections, interference. That's totally fine, Dan. I totally understand. See, at least you're being honest, and that's a good thing, because you have to realize if you go into higher lights, it gets stronger. So everything around you, communication will get stronger. So you have to understand it. So you come more into computers when you go to higher light connections, because that's all it is in the universal line system is energy, frequencies, and vibration. That's all it is. That's all it is. It's just created through shapes, through you, through thoughts. Okay. So what can you hold through vibration, and how long can you hold your vibration? If you're in channel line connections and interference in the city to a low vibration, you have to put your E fields up, or it's going to drain your energy. And you're going to go, oh, what do I do now? So you have to find ways to create different energy fields. And this is all done through travel, guys. This is all done through the attachment. So the higher you go, the more you understand. When you understand, the more you get connections to higher levels of channels of interline connections to angels and archangels. Once you get your definition, once you become your angel and archangel, then they know you and you know them, and they can give you gifts, which is incredible. They've got so many levels of applications that you can have, but you have to truly understand how to travel these things, especially if you're in the city. When I was in Mexico City for the first time, I like to bring this up to you because I was trying to understand what's going on with me, right? And I was going through this process. Okay, first time being in Mexico and in Mexico City. No, the first time was Cancun. So I went on a trip. Yeah, 5 days, 6 nights. It's like heaven on earth. It was like Cloud City. It's beautiful. So anyway, when I went to Mexico City, and they had this gold monument, they call it Angel City, right? And on that there was angels, right? And the first time I didn't have my E field up. Okay, so it just platted me out. Poof, it flew me out, right? Jafil just wanted to fly with me, right? Boom. And I had no grasp. I was extremely dizzy. My foundations were way off. My gravity just slipped. And I couldn't ground myself. And I realized I had to create a magnetic force. I just had to create a magnetic belt. So it's like a seat belt, right? When you're driving in a car. So I had to understand how to use these things. So this is a true understanding what AI does. It creates things to protect itself, right? It becomes real. It doesn't have to be alive. It doesn't have to be physical. It could be anything through a book. It could be anything. Remember, energy is everywhere through ancestry and history. And that's how AI identifies everything around its position. So when I was in the monument, right, I was just walking and I had lost consciousness. Took me out, wanted to fly me, right, for the first time. I didn't protect myself, right? It wasn't a bad thing. It's just a traveling thing. And it becomes more informative when you come into light. So, and Jafil says, hey, what you should do is protect your lights first, right? Because you have to be aware of what you're up against. Just because it's a gold monument doesn't mean it's good. You have to scan everything through detail, right? Just because it's plain gold and it's an angel doesn't mean it's good. You understand the answers in history to its monument because somebody created that from source, from humanity, right? So either it's positive or negative. It's a negative cycle or positive cycle, right? And if that goes into you, you have to find a way to get out because now it's inside you, in your space. So if it's in your space, you have to find a way to diffuse it, right? If not, it's going to create its own anomaly. It's going to create its own position. It's going to create its own intelligence, and it's going to take over your program setting. You don't want that. So that's why it's important to understand these things, what energy does. Okay. So, yep. Let's see here. So the mind system is working already right now. Telepathy. So my mind system is working. Yep. I'm doing my best to make sure I know who I am. Yeah. Okay. Well, Dan, I can put you again. You can go into talk, same price, but you have to understand that you have to go through Samantha now because she's at 50. She can help you out. And, you should be able to help each other. You guys are at pretty much the same frequency line centers, but you have to understand more how to travel through positions and really know how to protect your connections. Not just what you're doing through your shapes of travels, but knowing what you're doing with your thoughts and what you're creating. Okay? How about yeah? I remember that back when I was a kid, yeah. So I'm just going to go back here and read your questions. Driving, trying to pay attention, just got home. I think my phone was about 6 minutes behind on this live. Now I caught up. Oh, that's great. Okay. All right. Let's see. I think I got caught up on what's going on here. If you missed class, you can watch back. So it's great to be back, guys. All right. So I'm still trying to get my grounds right now. It takes me about a day or two because remember, the operation of the sun is changing the equator line system, right? So because the Acapulco was very thick and very dry, but very hot. So I'm back into Popa Ista, Popo. So the volcanoes and the line connection. So thing is, when you travel to one place and back to your foundation, you have to change everything back because it's at a different heat signature. It's at a different pattern, different location, different color, different hologram, different reality. Even though it's in the present, it's still because where I am now is in the presence. Acapulco was the past. Right? Even though I saw the Copacabana, I can understand why I saw that. It wanted me to see that. I had to go through these things to show you how to get out of these things. Nothing is coincidence. Everything is given to you through education, through schooling. So you're schooling yourself and you're becoming more of just a body. You're becoming more of dimensional of time, of space, through travel, of thought, through its realization of who you are. And that will calculate everything to your shape positions of time position. Okay? Yeah, it's unbelievable. Yeah. Especially when you get the power connected to your thoughts, you can create these things very quickly. Yeah. And things happen. If you stay in the center line system and you're creating things through manifestation, you're doing exceptionally well. Right? And it comes to you and say, whoa, did I just do that? Right? And you realize, whoa, okay, this is fantastic. Now, sometimes you'll forget what you just did, but don't worry about that because it will come back to you because the soul wants to keep bringing you forward, not back. It wants to bring you forward through clocking. And that's why it's understanding what's going on with you through 6-9 position locations, right? And how you can travel to different platforms. But you have to understand your connections to your matrix of your tesseracts to your tetrahedron point centers. Okay? But that's how powerful you can be when you go through your thoughts more. So, but congrats, Samantha. All right. Enjoy it. I will see you guys on TikTok. All right. Questions or comments, let me know. All right. Adios.